in a couple of days is going to be a holiday or a holy day. But the people have begun advertising for this holiday maybe a month ago and bombarding you with its acceptance, its celebration, and that it's okay. And that is the holiday or the break or the festive day, none other than Halloween. Halloween or Halloween. Halloween, something that you see on the television, on your smartphone, in the supermarket, in Walgreens, in CVS, in Rite Aid, driving down the street. Everywhere you go, you see some type of remembrance or some type of reflection of this day called Halloween. In school, trick or treat, candy, a jack-o'-lantern, ghastly ghosts, ghouls and goblins, witch riding on a broomstick. You see someone with a green face. You see a monster. You see this and you see that. How many movies are there right now on Halloween? Cartoons, cartoon characters. Everywhere you go, you hear the song, the Monster Mash. They're playing Halloween songs of old and of new. Jason, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. They remind you and they force you to accept this day called Halloween. So what is Halloween? What actually is this day? And what is the stance and the position of the Muslim with regards to Halloween? Can my children go trick-or-treating? Is it okay? Can we have a trick-or-treating festival in the masjid? Because it's not a religious holiday. It's a worldly holiday, just like Thanksgiving. It's not a religious holiday. Christmas, that's haram. Because Christmas pertains to the birth of Christ. And that is, religious. But Thanksgiving, Halloween, these things, they're not religious based. It's all right for the Muslims to enjoy them. We're in America. What's the big deal, Yahi? Some Snicker bars, some Almond Joy, some candy. What's the big deal? We have a apple bottom. What's the big deal? It's no big thing. We dress up in costumes. What's the extreme stance that you must take against Halloween? The Prophet ﷺ, he tells us, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawm al-akhir, falyaqul khayran aw liyasmut." He who believes in Allah and the last day should do one of two things. Either speak good or not speak at all. If you have nothing good to say, as your grandmother would tell you at the dinner table, then let the food shut your mouth. That's what she tells you. If you have nothing positive to say, then don't speak at all. You have not read. You have not studied. And if you have not read and have not studied, and if you're not well versed in the origin of Thanksgiving and Halloween, then you should not speak. And you should not say anything about halal and haram. Because Thanksgiving is a religious holiday. Halloween is a religious holiday. Its meaning, where it comes from, how it was invented, is from one or two things. And as the Arabs say, ahlahuma mur. The sweeter of the two is bitter. Halloween is either coming from the pagans or the Christians. And there's no third option. Halloween in itself and everything about it is based off of religion and spirituality. As far as the modern day commercialization of it, as far as the modern day sensualization of it, as far as the modern day putting into movies and cartoons and toys and things like this, then of course that's secular. But the origin of Halloween is nothing more than spiritual. And the same applies to Thanksgiving. Those who came to this country, they had different reasons behind coming to this country. Some people came to America as explorers. Who were the first people to find the North American continent? Was it the Chinese in before Columbus? Was it Leif Erikson? Was it Turkish explorers? Was it African explorers? Or was it Columbus? What's important is people came to America for different purposes. Some were explorers, some were warriors, some were slaves, some were traders, and some were running from what they thought and felt was religious oppression. And from those people who came to this country, out of fear of religious oppression, was a group of Christians known as the Puritans. The Puritans, who had problems with Catholics, with Protestants, etc. And they believed that there were too many holidays for Christians throughout the year. And they made a reform to reduce the Christian holidays to 27 in 1 year. 27 holidays in 1 year. And they said there's still too many holidays. There's too much drinking and laughing and eating and not enough remembrance of God. And they made a day of thanks for the harvest, and that is Thanksgiving. As far as Halloween, then it comes from All Hallows Day, All Hallows Tide, Hallowed Eve, i.e. the evening of the day of remembrance of death. the day of the remembrance of martyrs, hallows, and the day of the remembrance of spirits, and that is on the 1st of November. When is Halloween in our calendar? The 31st of October. Don't you find it intriguing, peculiar, suspicious at the least, that the 31st of October is Halloween, and the day after the 31st of October is what? It's the 1st of November. The date itself hasn't even changed to this day, unlike Christmas. Christmas, Thanksgiving, there's discrepancy pertaining to the dates. Well, All Hallows Tide has survived for hundreds of years with the exact same date for the liturgical calendar of the Christians. And that is to remember their saints and their martyrs. So what is involved in Halloween that makes it haram for us as Muslims to follow, to enjoy, to say trick or treat? Can I light a lantern on my porch and give candy to children in my neighborhood? From the greatest problems with this holiday is that it goes against the hadith of the Prophet Alayhi Salaatu wasalam. The hadith that we have quoted to you from its authentic source, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. The hadith is collected by Imam Tirmidhi, that the Prophet Alayhi Salaatu wasalam said, "Akfiru dhikra hadim al-ladhat," yani al-maut. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, make an abundant remembrance of the destroyer of pleasures. Make an abundant remembrance. Don't think about it from time to time, once a week, every Ramadan, when you make Hajj, every single day. Think about that which will shatter your world. And that thing which will shatter your world, shatter your joy and your pleasure, is nothing more than death. Nothing more than death. So in this hadith, the Prophet ﷺ gives us clear instruction for us to be mindful, thoughtful of death. And death has one description in this hadith. Not the end of time, but it will destroy al-ladhat, the food that you eat, the drinks that you enjoy, your beautiful, charming wife, your righteous children, your cars, your houses, your wealth, all the things that you've amassed and stacked up. Death snatches them away from you. So, Al-Qurtubi rahimahullah, he said about this hadith and the wisdom of the Prophet ﷺ's words, he says that a human being is always going to be in one or two scenarios. Either you're going to be in prosperity or you're going to be in adversity. Either things are going good for you, things are smooth, you have money, you have health, you have children, you have a husband, you have clothes, you have beauty, you have strength. Things are going good, alhamdulillah. We're flourishing and prospering. Or things aren't going so good. I have cancer, level 3, level 4. Diabetes, my son died, my nephew was killed, I was divorced, I'm sick, I'm old. Whatever the case is that you go through is going to be a test and a tribulation. And when you think about death, both of these scenarios, you'll be safe therefrom. Because if you're blessed by Allah Azza wa Jal, and you don't think about death, you can become fooled. You can become deceived. You can become prideful and arrogant. Alhamdulillah. Or not even that. I have this money. It's never ever going to stop. It's never ever going to end. We're always going to live. We're going to have fun. Let the good times what? Roll. And when you think about death, it prevents you from doing that. From being stuck up and conceited and forgetting that all of these good things one day are going to go away. That which is soft will turn to that which is hard. That which is green will fade and wither. And if that isn't the case, if you're going through a difficulty, if you're being locked up or oppressed by the kuffar, if you're being oppressed by a tyrant or a bully, think about death. And death is close. And no matter what you do to punish me, it's nothing like Allah's punishment. As Ashab Musa said, the magicians in the court of Fir'aun, when he threatened them to punish them and to kill them because they believed in Musa and Harun, they mentioned that the hereafter, the punishment hereafter is worse. So kill us, oppress us, torture us, but it's nothing compared to the hereafter. So no matter what you're going through in life, thinking about death is going to help you out. Thinking about death is going to make you straight and firm as a believer. And this is one of the greatest problems with Halloween, is that people think about death, ghosts, demons, jinns, ghouls and goblins for laughter, for fun, for joy, and for pleasure. So in actuality, they've taken the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ and inverted it 100%. Think about fun, pleasure, and joy through deaths by dressing up as a ghost or dressing up with this person and that person. There's nothing wrong with coming from the dead. It's fun and it's a joyful thing. And they take you away from Allah's dhikr. Let alone imitating the kuffar and the other problems that are well known that come from Halloween. But this is one of the worst things that comes from this holiday. is that it causes the spiritual act of thinking about death to be a game and to be a joke. So beware of this. If your children go to public school, teach them, educate them. If your children go to Islamic school, teach them and educate them. It's not okay to take candy. It's not okay to say Happy Halloween. It's not okay to say trick or treat. It's not okay to enjoy these festivities of the pagans, of the mushrikun, and of the kuffar. Because it's not from our way. As Allah Azza wa Jal has told us, ثُمَّ جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَى شَرِيعَةٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْنِ فَاتَّبِعْهَا وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. Allah says, and then, O Muhammad, we have placed you upon a sharia. We have given you your own way of life. Your own set of rules, your own means of legislation. فَاتَّبِعْهَا. So follow it. وَلَا تَتَّبِعْ أَهْوَاءَ الَّذِينَ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. And follow not the desires of those who are ignorant. Allah says, follow the way we have given you and placed you upon. And follow not the desires of those who do not know. Why not? إِنَّهُمْ لَن يُغْنُوا عَنْكَ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. Because they can't help you with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They can't do anything for you in the hereafter. In other words, at the time of death. In other words, at the time of resurrection, they can't do anything for you. وَإِنَّ الظَّالِمِينَ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ وَاللَّهُ الْوَلِيُّ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah says, and the wrongdoers, the oppressors, the Jews, the Christians, the pagans, the idol worshippers, those who drink and laugh and fornicate, they are friends and protectors of each other. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is the friend and the protector of the muttaqeen. هَذَا بَصَائِرُ لِلنَّاسِ. Allah says this is clear guidance for men. وَهُدًى, guidance, insight. وَرَحْمَةٌ لِقَوْمٍ يُوقِنُونَ, and a mercy for people who have certainty. So beware of following the desires of the ignorant. Beware of listening to the whims of those who lack the knowledge of this great deen of Al-Islam. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to keep us steadfast upon His deen until we die. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to keep our children steadfast thereupon until they die. And we ask Allah to protect us from the evil of all pagan and Christian and Jewish holidays, especially Halloween. Wa aqim as-salat.